All right, people, what's up? What's happening? Welcome to another episode of the Meathead on the Mic podcast. All right, hope you guys and girls are enjoying yourself today. You're having a sick Tuesday. I'll be honest with you, I'm personally feeling like crippled. Yesterday's leg day fucking put me out of commission. I'm limping everywhere. So that's a little bit about me right now. Let me know how your day is going when you join. Today we're going to be talking about something very important. It's a mindset related topic today. But I think that once you peel back the layers and you break the ice, I guess, metaphorically speaking, when it comes to like what we're going to be talking about today, you'll be able to see a lot of success in pretty much every journey in your life, but mainly in this one, fitness. When we're talking about burning fat, okay? It's a mindset related topic. And when you really grasp what you're going to be dealing with, or at least how you should perceive things, this will be that, say, key factor that's going to keep you aligned even when you fall off, because I mean we're human beings, we fall off anyway. But the whole idea behind today's episode is to give you the perspective that you need in order for you to continue to succeed even though you fail. You know what I mean? Even though you may fall off, right? I don't want to say fail, I'll say fall off. Okay. Just give me a couple seconds, let me know how your day's going when you join. Nav deep, yo, what's up? I see you guys, appreciate y'all. um all right, yo. Just it's the favorite Sailor Moon or Sailor I'm not answering that. I'm gonna give it a couple of minutes and then we're gonna dive into the topic and start the podcast. I'm just fixing something up over here, so don't feel shy. Let me know how your day is going. And we're gonna break it down. All right. This is a mindset related episode today. It's gonna help you understand sort of what you need to understand in order to break through to the next level if you've fallen off or quit. All right. Give the people what they want to know. Bro, I don't even watch Sailor Moon. I don't know. I know what you're talking about, but I don't fucking I couldn't give you an answer, bro. But I appreciate the troll. I appreciate you being here. What's up? Yo, Tyson, what's up? Mago, what's happening? See you, people. Nathan, what's good? I see you there on YouTube. What's up? Somebody says passing a 25 around my waist as I'm watching this. I don't know what you mean by that. Like, are you passing 25 in inches? Or specify, because I'm fucking lost. You know what's up, Yar. I appreciate you, man. Just fixing up something here, and then we're gonna dive into the podcast soon. And just so you guys and girls know, the way the podcast works is when I start to record, I won't be like responding to anybody or taking on any questions, but you can feel free to drop them in the comments. But after I'm done recording, which will take no more than 15 minutes, 10 minutes, then I'll dive into some of the comments and questions that you guys and girls have on the live streams, and then that's it. We'll be breaking that off with that. So homie says, "Plate you weird." Okay, so around, so passing a 25 around my waist as I'm what? Okay, so I would assume Russian twists. I don't know if if you're doing that deliberately. 33 inches. I saw that in the check-in. 33 inches on the waist, bro. That's Tyson. So he's been coming down. His weight's coming down, and the inches around his waist is fucking coming down. So shout out to my client Tyson Barrett. You know what's good. Uh, Ruben says, "How many calories do you eat a day?" We're gonna break into that. I think I answered this for you a while ago, but that's changed. So just give me a moment. Um, to Okay, all right, sick, cool. So we're gonna dive into the podcast soon. But before we dive in, I want to thank Matt. I don't even know how to pronounce that properly. Majoey034 for following. Appreciate that. And I'm gonna answer your question real quick, Ruben. So he asked, he says, "How many calories you eat a day?" Right now, that's fluctuating a lot. I'm on the heavier side in terms of like how much I weigh right now. When I'm competing, I'm about like 30 pounds lighter, something of the sort. But I'm hovering around, say, 202 pounds to 204 pounds. So I'm not actually eating as much. I'm actually going to be dialing down my calories a little bit for the next, I think, 4 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on how my body, operates. I did take a little bit of time off from the gym recently, just for fuck's sake, because if I don't do it, I know I will never. Like, I only rest 1 day a week in my normal gym schedule, so if I don't take more than that off, then I run the risk of potentially getting injured and things of that sort. So I took a week and a half off, I think. But the strength's still there. That's why I'm like, as I said at the start of this episode or live stream, I was fucking like toast. Like even now, like my fucking glues, hamstrings, quads, calves, yes, calves, they train calves every day, are hurting me, right? So I'm in serious pain. But to answer your question, long story short, I'm around A modest 3,700 calories, 3,900 calories right now, and that's probably going to go down a little bit. And then when I hit around 195, I'm just going to slowly start increasing. Again, I don't bulk and cut. I do this thing where I main gain, so I don't ever get too fat in my off season. So that cutting isn't, something that's super difficult. But that's your question, and I appreciate it. But looking for something over here. But it's about time we dive into the podcast today. All right. So without wasting any time, let's dive into the podcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yo, what's good, meatheads? Hope you're having an amazing day. Welcome to another episode of the Meathead on the Mic podcast. It's your host, IFBB Pro Matt Butale, coming at you with another topic. Today, we're going to be talking about what is the reason why. Okay. But before we dive in, I want to let you know you're welcome to join the Meathead Monsters Club, which is a Facebook community where you get to meet other meatheads like yourself. All right. So don't forget to screenshot and share this podcast to your IG story to show support. Also, if you have any questions you'd like to ask me, or if you'd like to tune into the live recording to see exclusive behind the scene footage, you can search for Matt Butale on Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. All right. Shameless plug. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for some more meathead content if you haven't already. All right. It's time to embrace your inner meathead. Okay, let's dive into the meat and potatoes, brah. Okay, so when it comes to knowing your reason why, okay, and if you don't know this, believe me, every time you fall off in your journey, at least specifically pertaining to fat loss in this case, in this context, but it does apply everywhere, you're gonna struggle to get back on track. And that's if you don't understand your why. Okay, so what I've noticed is we're always focused on essentially when we can achieve our dream body, dream goal, dream house, whatever it is. We're always focused on when, how long will it take? Like for you guys and girls, I know some of you guys and girls are like, well, how long would I have to eat clean, or how long would I have to train? How long would I have to do cardio in order to lose the amount of weight that I want to lose in this time frame, or before vacation, or before this wedding, right? Like that's a common question. Okay. Also, I've noticed, people always say you know, we're so focused on how we can achieve the goal. And when it comes to how we're going to achieve the goal, it's not just sort of when we can achieve it, because I know that sort of sounds the same, but how we're going to achieve it, like what we actually need to do, how long you'll have to train, how much you'll have to save when it comes to if you want to buy a house, or get married, and what steps you need to take. So there's two things that I see everyone's really focused on when it comes to them making any big decision in their life. When can I get it? Essentially, how long is it going to take? And two, how do I get it? Like, what steps do I need to take? Okay, so those are the two things that I've always noticed people always focus on when they are in say a big shift in their life. Okay, but what I've also noticed is, when we ask ourselves when and how, we come up with sort of a premeditated answer that's most likely correct. It's accurate. When you build out the steps, you know what you have to do in order to get there. And based off of the steps that you're taking, the duration of time that you need to endure to succeed with it is going to vary, right? Like we understand these practical, premeditated, predictable answers, and they're most likely correct, right? But in the same token, I've noticed that when we talk about why we want to achieve a certain goal or do one big thing, make that change, buy the house, get married, lose the 30 pounds, whatever it is, I notice that I see people that they either don't feel like they're being authentic with themselves when they say why they want to do it, or they feel like they just don't know why they want to do it. And both of them are fine. But my intention in today's episode is to help you understand why you actually why you truly on an emotionally vulnerable level want to change what you want to change in your life. For example, you want to lose 30 pounds. Cool. You want to lose 30 pounds to lose 30 pounds because you give a fuck about numbers, or do you actually want to reduce the size of your gut? Do you want to build muscle because you want to build muscle, or are you sick and tired of having skinny fucking arms? That emotionally vulnerable aspect, the specific reason why you want to change anything in your life, in your body, that vulnerable, I don't know how to really word it, but that it's a very impactful, significant, you know what I'm saying, reason that lies behind the superficial reason of I want to lose 30 pounds, or I just want to grow muscle. You know what I mean? That's what we're going to be breaking down today, because when you understand that, it becomes very hard to stay well, even when you do fall off track, which is inevitable because we all fall off track, we're human beings, but it becomes very hard to stay off track if your why is strong enough. Okay, if your why actually means something to you. Okay, so again, we either don't feel like we're being authentic with ourselves or we feel like we don't know why. So like you may not feel like you're being authentic with like you saying that you want to lose just 30 pounds. Like, no, there's something that lays behind that. It's like you're ashamed of, the way you look in front of the mirror. It's not that you just want to lose 30 pounds. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. Just nod your head silently if you're listening to the podcast, or if you're watching the live stream, just put some fire comment down below if that makes sense to you. Okay, so in today's episode, we're going to be breaking down how to find your why, because it's so fucking important that you know why you're committing to what you're committing to, so that when you do fall off, you can get back on because your why is that important. Okay, so number one, let's break it down. It's not a real plan if it has no purpose. Okay, I'm going to repeat that again for you guys and girls. It is not a real plan if it has no purpose. This means your when and how, as we talked about earlier, won't be achieved because it doesn't matter. There's no purpose, there's no significance. It's not fucking important to you. You know what I mean? It's like, for example, think of like, and you may not play video games, but this is the only example I can think of right now. Think of video games. Like, you want to beat the next level, you want to get to the next level, you want to complete the game, right? You get all the achievements, all the trophies, whatever. But why? Is this like your childhood game that you grew up with? Is this something that you actually give a shit about, or is it just something that you kind of just want to do because it's something to do within the game, right? The level of importance that lies behind whatever task it is that you have to achieve is ultimately going to determine your level of success in that field. Okay, and if there's no purpose, if getting that goal means fucking nothing, if it doesn't impact your life in a way that's like dramatic enough, then the purpose isn't strong enough. And if the purpose isn't strong enough, neither will your willpower be. So if your willpower isn't strong, when you get in, you bump into the obstacle or you get through the hiccup, it's like impossible to fall back on track because you kind of don't care in a way. Like you're aware that you want to do this thing, but you don't care enough to like do it no matter what, if that makes sense. Right? Again, guys and girls, nothing internally or externally for that matter, changes if there's no meaning to that achievement. Purpose is key. If there's no meaning, as I said, you can lose 30 pounds and still be depressed. Why? Because you may still have that gut. And maybe the goal wasn't losing 30 pounds, the goal was losing the gut. So we have to get a little bit more vulnerable and serious when we're asking ourselves why we are doing certain things, especially in this case, in this context, relating to fat loss. Okay. But at the same time, that doesn't mean, again, like, so we have to get very specific. Part of finding your why is just being very specific. Okay, extremely like specific to like the of when you think about your why, it almost makes you emotional because that's how important it is to you. That's how much of a purpose there is behind it. Make sense? So again, let's look deeper. It's not just to bring it back to where the 30 pounds, we're talking about 30 pounds. I think that if we talk about weight here, that's going to help you guys and girls, understand a little bit more about what I'm talking about so you can get the point better. Okay. So you've got some real internal digging to do. You got to find out, why you're even interested in changing that goal, whether it's getting that house, getting married, losing the weight, anything. Like you have to understand, like, to do the digging. You can't just say I want to because I want to. And you may just want to, and that's true. But if you do not have that core like emotional thing that's going to perpetuate you and like force you to do it regardless of you falling off or you feeling like you want to go to the gym or you feeling like you don't want to go to work and you still do it anyway, it's because that why is powerful enough to make you do it. The why produces the willpower, right? The purpose produces the willpower in this case. Okay? So again, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this right now, what I want you to ask yourself is just simply, do you care only about how much you weigh or how you actually look? Like, what impacts you more? How much you weigh on the scale, like the number, how many inches your waist, is, or like, no, how you look in the mirror, like, which actually impacts you more? Would you rather lose 30 pounds of fat and be healthier, which is still like, it's great, it's a good thing. Like, I'm not saying that if you just put numbers out there like that, your why isn't serious enough. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying for the general population, something as vanilla and over the covers as that is not really deep enough for them to like want to pursue the goal even when they fall off, because we're talking about getting back on track even when you fall off by having a powerful purpose that is going to force you to use the willpower that you have derived from that purpose in order to like just move forward in the positive direction. Okay, so would you rather, lose 30 pounds and be healthier, which is great, or lose the love handles which have been bothering you since fucking high school? Okay, what matters most to you? Would you rather lose 30 pounds of fat, or lose the hanging stomach, the neck rolls, the back rolls? Because there's something that lies deeper than just like the we'll say the very vanilla covering of like, this is just what I want to do, and this is how I'm going to achieve it. And if I do these things, this is when I'm going to achieve it. Because even when you do achieve it, if you're not being honest to yourself, you're not being authentic with yourself with like what you actually want out of it, even when you do lose whatever weight or get the money that you said you wanted, if there's no real purpose as to why, like, when I say real purpose, I'm talking about emotional purpose, like something that, within your heart makes you either feel accomplished or unaccomplished. If that doesn't exist, if there's no real purpose, you're going to feel empty even when you lose the 30 pounds, because it's clear it's not about the number. It's about how you feel, and how you feel is based off of how you look, and how you look is something that you want to change, not the number. And I guess it's a byproduct, the weight, but the core issue here, your reason why, is not because 30 pounds is a magical number. It's because the love handles have been pissing you off. It's because your old clothes don't fucking fit. It's because you're fucking embarrassed to get undressed, in front of your sexual partner, your sex partner, because you don't like the way you fucking look, and you're self-conscious and insecure about it. And that's your reason why. It's not the fact that you just want to lose 30 pounds, and I get it. You don't want to go everywhere fucking outing your dirty laundry and exposing yourself and saying, well, this is what I want to do, and this is how serious it is to me. It's because my fucking grandma died, and there's like, I get it. Like, you're not gonna go and explain that to everybody, but you don't have to. That's something that you have to honestly ask yourself. And once you give yourself the honest answer that is that deep, you know that every single time you slack off or when you fall off, that why is so powerful. You have no choice but to just get back into momentum, because that level of discomfort you feel when you're just sitting there, knowing how serious your why is to you and that you're not doing anything about it, will eat you alive. Okay. So, what happens when you fall off track? Right. So, guys and girls, this is why it's so important for you to know why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, we all fall off track from time to time. We're human. Like, me too. 100%. I'm a pro bodybuilder, but I still fall off of track. All right. But this is what gets me back on track. It's my why. Okay. And no, it's not the shallow answer that you think. Like, for me, it could have been, well, Matt wants his pro card. So that's why. That's his why when I was training to get my pro card. That was one of many whys. That was a surface level why. But deeper than that, my true why was my commitment to myself that I've made to myself in 2017 November, and I remember this because I wrote it down. And my commitment to myself was a commitment in three facets of my life. Okay, fitness, which is health too, finances, and relationships. So I wanted to make sure that I did the very best I possibly. So the commitment was, every single year I'm going to be leveling up in each and every single one of those three categories that I just mentioned. And when I say leveling up, I don't mean slightly improving. I mean like getting to the next level, like doing all the work that is required to get to the next level. All right. So for bodybuilding, I was an amateur. So the next level for me was to become a pro bodybuilder. So that happened. Right. And for finances, at first it was like, okay, be self sufficient as a self employed entrepreneur, online coach. And then the next level was to break 5 figures in a month. That happened. And then for relationships was to, strengthen the relationships that I've got with my family members, and to pay more attention to myself and not put myself in situations that I don't want to be in with other people, like sexually speaking or romantically speaking. And that happened. I had to let go of a girl because of it. Right. So those are the commitments that I made to myself. And I always do the next level thing. And yes, the pro card was a thing that I wanted. Right. But what lied under that, my true reason why, was my commitment to myself. And I know that if I don't fucking do what I said I was gonna do, I'm gonna feel like shit. And that's how important it is to me, my commitments. Like, that's just like how I value myself. For you, it could be different. You know, 30 pounds is the byproduct, just like how the pro card was a byproduct for me. But the layer under that was, you may not feel comfortable with your significant other when you're about to have sex because you don't fucking look good. Or at least that's what you tell yourself. right? So 30 pounds surface level, that's what it looks like. But there's something deeper than that. And that's your fucking why. Okay. So when I thought to myself, oh fuck, I want to skip this cardio session, or I don't want to eat this meal, or I don't want to, hit the gym, or whatever the excuse may have been, fuck, sometimes I gave in. But even if I gave in, I know that, okay, well, one day of sitting in my shit, I can't handle this anymore. I'm going to come back tomorrow and do 2 times the work. Or I don't even give in because I'm thinking about my why so much and why it's so important to me. Does that make sense to you guys and girls? Like, it's the difference between people that you see that are so consistent and committed and always just fucking winning in life, and the difference between you in this position is the why. It burns them to their soul if they don't do what they have to do in order to quench that, in order to, we'll say, to reduce the fire within that burns very, very rich because of their passion regarding, or their passion relating to their purpose, which creates the willpower for them to move forward in that direction. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, guys and girls? Okay. So again, your why isn't as shallow as you think it is. And if it is, it's time to do some internal digging. Figure out why you actually want to do the thing you want to do. Why do you want to get the bigger house? Why do you want to get married? Why do you want to lose the weight? Why do you want to do anything? Why do you want to make that change in your life? That big change. And when you can find the underlying reason why, and you like like it emotionally invokes, like, you really get invested in it, no matter how many times you fall off, you're gonna, get back up and move forward because you like that pain. You will not be able to sit down like with yourself in a room with quietness, and the voice in your head goes on about, this is how you feel about yourself. This is how you look about yourself. Look when you look in the mirror, and it's gonna eat you away. You have to do something physically to manifest another reality that is a changed reality, that is a leveled up reality where those problems don't exist anymore, and your why, is going to bring you there. Your why is the key to that. Your why is the answer to that. Make sense? So, as I said, the number one feeling I would say to look for when you're trying to really find your why, like to really make sure that you are committing yourself, like internally, externally, and just being 100% authentic with where you want to go, instead of having the surface level answer as to why you need this change or want this change, is finding your discomfort. You hate feeling like people are staring at you because you're fat. You hate the fact that you can't fit into your old clothes. As I said, getting a dress around any intimate partner is a chore now because you're ashamed of how you look, your hanging stomach, your back rolls, your elbow fat, your lack of stamina on bed, even whatever it is. That discomfort, and I wish it wasn't this, but life's a bitch. But that discomfort is what's going to move you forward. That discomfort is what's going to, like, when you really get a grip on it and figure out, like, this is the thing I need to change. It's not just 30 pounds of weight that I want to lose, but this feeling of mine that I have every time I go through this thing is something that I want to change. That's when you really get a firm grip on your why. And then no matter what, you can fall off, you'll get right back on because you understand that level of pain that you feel isn't something that you want to live with. Does that make sense? Okay, when we get down to the core emotional reason why we want to make change, nothing will derail us from it. Even if we do fall off track, we will get back on track because in the end, it's inevitable the success when you're working from a place of having an intentional purpose that you can use your willpower to perpetuate, like, to get you to move forward. Like, that's the importance of your why. The when and the how is something everybody talks about. When will I get it? What steps do I need to take to do, to do this thing? Like, how can I do this? Like, do I have to eat a certain way? Do I have to train a certain way? Okay, well, for how long? And then does that mean I'll get 30 pounds off? And if you look at things objectively like that, you're likely never going to be happier because you'll get the 30 pounds off, but you'll realize that it wasn't actually 30 pounds you needed to lose. It was the gut. It was the love handles. And that's going to change your image when it comes to, you looking at yourself and understanding that the thirst of that, like the thirst of the why, we'll say, has been quenched because you've done the work in order to actually attend to it, as opposed to just doing this surface level thing that you think is going to help you. It's not. The numbers typically don't matter for most people. For most people, for some people, it does matter. But for the most of us, it's the image, it's how we look. And then that's going to dictate sort of how we feel. And that's going to give us the true, we'll say, marker or guideline when it comes to like the amount of success that we've achieved within our journey, whether it's, saving up money for a house, doing anything, literally burning fat, building muscle. If you say I wanted to build muscle and just that's your surface level, my why is because I just want to build muscle, cool. So you build 5 pounds, 10 pounds, but you still feel like, empty. You still feel the same as to when you started your journey. Chances are your why lies deeper than that. It's not that you wanted to get muscle, or at least I'll say it's not only that you wanted to grow muscle, it's also that you were unhappy with the size of your arms or the size of your chest. You were sick and tired of feeling skinny. Okay. So let's get emotionally vulnerable. All right. Let's dig a little bit deeper because that's where the answers lie. It's just where it is. And when you can get a grip on that, you get a grip on anything. All right. That emotionally vulnerable side to your purpose is your reason why. And yes, we may fall off track, but we also don't want to feel that shame or negative voice come back and ruin our days, which is what's going to keep us moving forward. Like that is going to fuel your willpower. In a way, the negative voice is going to push you forward in a positive way if you use it as a tool, if you understand that it is your why. Okay. And until you completely accept that that's what's going on, you'll keep falling off track and procrastinating and never get back on track because you either A, aren't aware of your why, like seriously aware of your why, not just this surface level answer you give yourself, or B, you just truly don't care about yourself. Okay? So, guys and girls, now it's time to take action. I want you to sit there and think to yourself, why do you want to make this big change in your life? Whatever change it is. Like, seriously, why? Not just because, like, well, if you wanted more money, not, well, I want more money because I want more money. Like, no, cool, we get it. Like, but is there something that you're going to do with that money? Are you going to, maybe do you want to raise a family? Do you want to donate money? Like, what's your purpose? Like, what makes you want to do that so fucking much? Everyone wants more money, but why do you? As an individual. Everybody wants to lose weight. Everyone wants to lose 30 pounds, but why do you? Okay. Get specific, get vulnerable. It's time to take action. Ask yourself these questions. All right. So if you like today's episode, share it with a friend. I hope I was able to deliver a valuable experience to you guys and girls today. Thank you so much for your precious time and attention. Also, if you do want to lose 25 pounds and become a part of the Natural Nomad Academy, feel free to DM me and I'll see if you'll be a good fit. P.S. I won't monetize this podcast with ads because I respect your time and I simply want you to just get the value that I am delivering. No buffering, no money grabbing shit, just me to you. And I want you to get better. Seriously. Like, that's why I do this. Okay. So don't forget to screenshot and share this podcast out to your friends on your IG story. Show support. Let's embrace your inner meathead together. It's been nice chatting. Hope you like what today's topic was about. IFBB Pro Matt Butale signing out. Boom. Podcast in the air, baby. You know what's up. Okay, so first of all, RIP to Facebook because my phone died. I wasn't even checking. But yeah, I'm gonna read some of the comments here on Instagram and TikTok real quick, and then we're gonna fly out. Gonna go hit the gym, all that good shit. So, first of all, shout out to everybody that joined. Honestly, Mago's like Russian twists. Oh boy, I don't know if you're trolling me, if you're fucking serious, but that makes me laugh. Leroy, what's good? Goat baby, you know what's happening. Hey, what's up, G? I see you. Drady, what's happening? Tyson says the why for me is the. I'm just reading this properly because I don't want to fuck this up because I saw the emoji. No, I love you guys, man. You nomads are savages. The how is being a natural nomad. Okay, so I'm gonna break it down for you guys and girls. So I digested this properly. So my client Tyson says the why for me is the pussy. All right. The how is being a natural nomad. So shout out to my boy. Shameless plug, natural nomad. Join if you aren't already in. The when is whenever coach says, you know what? I have to fucking screenshot this, bro. This is fucking gold. That's mint, bro. Now you crack me up, Tyson. Seriously. But hey, if that's your why, that's your why. So at first it may have been for you like, okay, well, I want to lose was it 25 pounds you mentioned? We're pretty much almost done that. But it's not the fact that you wanted to lose 25 pounds. We could say if we were to dig a little bit deeper, it's dude, every time I go out, when I'm with my friends, I don't feel like I'm getting taken seriously. I don't feel like they're looking at me like, as a fucking sexual prospect. You know what I mean? As a guy, just being honest, being vulnerable. And that's maybe one of the underlying reasons as to why you wanted to lose 25 pounds in the first place. But what you told me is I just want to lose 25 pounds. But like here you are just opening it up and saying, yo, the why for me is the pussy straight up. All right, let's get whole ready. And then like how will I, you know, achieve this goal of losing 25 pounds in order to feel more and or get more attraction and just feel more attracted and handsome. How do I do that? Is by being a natural nomad, hiring a coach, doing whatever training pro, right? And then the when is whenever coach says. So, dude, shout out to you, man. You're fucking dope as shit for that. I'm laughing for real. Fucking love you, dog. Patrick, thanks for joining. Rohan, what's good? Obiad, what's up? The True Diesel, what's good? Marco, MJ, Rahul, JK. Yo, Anthony, baby, what the fuck is up? Mercy, what's up? Tyson says, what I've learned through this journey is it's all about sustainability. If you don't have the why, you can't sustain the lifestyle, and the how and the when would be redundant. Exactly. The why is the core. The why is where your willpower is produced. If you can't produce any willpower, I mean, you'll move forward when you're motivated, but the moment you get knocked off, it's good game. Like you're gonna start procrastinating and fucking off and not holding yourself accountable because your why just doesn't matter. And yes, this is the tricky thing. The tricky thing is like why you want to fucking lose weight, or what you want to do is you want to lose weight. Why? Well, because I want to lose weight. Like if that's the answer you're giving yourself, you're pretty much doomed. You have to dig a little bit deeper, get a little bit more emotionally vulnerable with yourself and figure out how just being you right now makes you feel. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a big thing. Big anxiety on TikTok says, hey, what's up? See you. Just reading some IG comments. Ruben says, easy. Yeah, you know what's happening, bro? Nikos, what's good? What time is your last meal? Dude, why does it matter? You ask me like the funniest questions. I appreciate you and I fucking love you, dog, but like, why? How many calories do you eat? What time is your last meal? None of that shit matters, bro, because it only pertains to me. Like I'm a pro bodybuilder, right? Even if I told you and you followed it, it would not have the same effects. I 100% promise you. But just since you care, my last meal usually, because it's not the same time every day, I'm not a robot. Usually I like to have it at between 3 to 4 hours before bed. So like 7, 8 p.m., 9 p.m. pushing it. And that's like a weekday. If it's a weekend, I'll eat at like 10 o'clock. Really doesn't matter. Depends on when I'm going to sleep. 3 to 4 hours before that. That's when that's how I feel the best doing that. So Junior, what's good? Matt, what's up? Ethan, what's good? Ruben says, if I'm under my daily calories intake, but I eat late, like 12 a.m., would that make me gain stomach fat? No, that's actually a huge myth. It doesn't matter. Like your body just know what time it is in the day. Your body just knows the sun is up or down. What your body knows is, serotonin, dopamine, nutrients, exercise. Like your body's familiar. Your body can adapt to things that you're physically doing. Like you're not just because you eat later, it's not going to like make you gain fat. The way to make that, like, I want to make that as simple as possible. So like, I want to explain that as simple as possible. So it's like this. So if you have a certain amount of calories that you need to intake, like per day, and you haven't hit those, that marker or whatever, then it like if you go to bed and you don't hit that marker, then you're going to get the effects of not hitting that marker. So it doesn't matter sort of when you eat or even how you eat. If you break it up into like 5, 6 different small meals or have 3 large meals, like that doesn't matter on another level, but on the surface level it doesn't really matter as long as what you're doing is sustainable for you and you don't actually miss your entire nutrient like goal, your caloric goals, right? So you're not missing meals, you're hitting your water, you're hitting your calories and your macros. It's fine. It doesn't matter if you eat 10 minutes before bed. Like you're probably going to be rolling around for a bit, not digesting it for a bit, might wake up a couple of times, which is why I personally like to eat like 3 to 4 hours before I go to bed. But at the end of the day, what you need to prioritize is hitting those macros and calories, and it doesn't matter what time. Like let's say you work night shift one day, the next day you work day shift. Do you think your body knows? So it just matters that you hit your caloric requirements, and to an extent, your body will know if you understand the circadian rhythm. Like your body knows when to sort of feel tired and when to feel awake. Your body knows when to feel hungry and when to feel full based off of when you're eating and what times that you're eating. But that all comes like once you already start doing shit and your body is following an order already. It makes sense. If your body isn't following any order, then it's all over the place. That's something you want to get checked. You want to make sure that you're eating at least at similar times every single day, so that your body knows when to feel what it's supposed to feel, which makes it easier to do what you're supposed to do. But just to dive into it on a little bit of a scientific term, the hormone ghrelin is released, that it mitigates your hunger, and that hormone will be released or not released depending on how often or frequently you're eating in the certain time of day. So it doesn't affect you like long term, but what I would say is just I don't want to sleep with a belly full of food and water, right? So I'd recommend just eating a little bit earlier if you can. But if it's 12 a.m., like there have been times for me where I was bouncing at the club, I'd be finishing my last two meals together, eating them together at fucking 3 in the morning when my shift is done, right? Because I don't want to miss a meal. So that's your answer, bruh. Hope that helped. So Ethan says, what's the best way to put on a muscle without a fast metabolism? The best way to put on muscle with or without a fast metabolism is the best way that I always preach for my clients and myself, and it is to main gain. I would say roughly 150 to 200 calories under your required caloric maintenance level. Consume that on a daily basis. 3 to 4 liters of water per day. Supplements are that's a different question, but if you can do those two things, you're going to put on muscle, right? And it's important that you're in a slight deficit so that you don't have to burn, a ridiculous amount of fat in order to get conditioned once you put on the muscle. Because when you do add any tissue on your body, natural or not, you add fat and water. It's just inevitable. You add fat, water, and muscle at the same time. But to control the amount of fat and water that you do put on, you want to make sure that you're doing it as lean as possible, in which a slight caloric deficit will aid you. Uncle John, what's up? I hope that helped, Ethan. Let me know if that helps. So, Carnview, what's good? Sweet as fit fam. So they say, do you work with a bodybuilding coach year round or just for prep? Depends. If I have a good relationship with them, I'll stick around for the whole entire year. If I don't, and not to say that I have bad relationships with coaches, it's just like sometimes like certain coaches are good for like a season, like a specific season. Like those super militant coaches, like I prefer them around prep, but the coaches that are sort of more lackadaisical, I'd prefer them for the year round because it just upkeep me on what I'm already doing and just hold me accountable. But then when it comes to like the nitty gritty and getting ready for like a show and just going all in, I believe that there are different types of people for that because not everybody's coaching style is the same. So that's actually a good question. But like, I'll be honest with you, like right now I'm not working with a coach. For my last show, I didn't work with a coach, but before that, I was working with a coach for about like almost a year. And before that, I was working with a coach for uh, pretty much like a prep, just a little bit over a prep. But on average, I like to have certain coaches for certain seasons, and I have yet to find a coach that can like be both and has like both of those styles. But I'm always looking because there's no such thing as too much information, and I'll never be too big in my head or my body to learn from somebody else. There's no such thing as that. There's always knowledge to be absorbed. Only facts, dog. You know what's good, Unc? Ranjit, what's good? Ethan says, yes, sir. Thank you. You're most welcome, Ethan. Appreciate you. Gil, what's up? What's happening? Brittany, what's up? I see you there on YouTube. Number one YouTube supporter. All right, let's see some fucking comments on TikTok. Hopefully they aren't pulling my legs this time, which they always fucking do. I just want to say you look good, bro. Freesmoke.com. Shout out to you. Appreciate you, dog. Mariah, hi. What split you running right now? Says Will Frassinelli. It's the same split, bro. I barely changed my split. Fuck's sake. So just gonna run through it quickly. Monday's legs, Tuesdays back delts, traps, Wednesdays chest, arms, and then that repeats again Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Usually 6 days on, 1 day off. I do arms 4 days a week and calves every day. Yeah, but I'm not gonna like label all the workouts because that in of itself is like a whole nother podcast episode. King Jams, I appreciate the rose. 215 likes on TikTok. I'm fucking grateful. Let's go. Cookie dough or real dough? I don't know what the fuck you mean, so I'm not reading that or answering it. Stranger Things Jack 1 says, do you like Stranger Things? Okay, this is not the place or time for that, but I appreciate the follow, Will. And Stranger Jack 1, I don't even fucking watch it, so I don't know, bro. I wouldn't even say that I do or that I don't because I don't watch it, so I don't have an opinion. Leroy, what's good? He says, you plan on hiring a coach for long term to take you to the next level? Yes, I plan on hiring several coaches. I believe in hiring the help. Like I practice what I preach. Like I'm a coach myself too. So I know the benefits and the value of having coaches in your corner, not just, excuse me, not just for like bodybuilding, but for anything that you need help in. Like for business, like I still have my business coach. I've been working with him for 2 years. Commitment is not an issue for me. It's comfort. I want to find somebody that I know I can trust with everything. And when I say trust with everything, I mean I trust that, they're gonna do what is necessary for me to make the most amount of benefit that I possibly can in the time that I have, and that they know how to really talk to me in a certain way to make sure that I hammer it down. And I'm not a difficult client by any means. I'm pretty much militant with myself, even when I coach myself. So I like a militant or military style coach. Like it's like, yo, just do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that, and this, and then take it. Here's the check-in, changing this, do like one-liners, fucking sentences. I'm a very fucking coachable person. I don't like all the fluff and hey, how's your day? Like, I don't care for that really. Like I'm like that with some of my clients because as a person, I like to talk. But when it comes down to like getting work done, it's like, nope, shut up, fuck you, do this, do that, do this. And I do that without offending them, or at least they're not perceiving it as offensive because that's the style of coaching that they're receptive to. If that makes sense. So I want someone that's sharp, but not killing me all the time in terms of like every day is prep when I'm like 6 months away from a show. Right. So I'm finding out the balance there. Militant style coach that knows how to pull the brakes necessarily, sometimes, right? So but yeah, that's enough about me there because it's different for me though. I'm not looking for like a coach like that the average person would be looking for because I'm literally a professional bodybuilder. So I'm gonna have to find someone that is an expert in coaching professional bodybuilders, not just coaching people, which is a different ball game. So there's a lot more different things for me to look for. Um, Let's see here. Ruben says, "Is your twin as big as you?" LOL. How do you know? Did I tell you I have it? Oh fuck! I made a podcast episode yesterday too. Whatever. Maybe I told you in real life. But no. The question is no, or the answer to that question is no. It isn't train. Leroy says, "You." Oh no, I already answered that one. He says, "And spend so to take it to the next level, then spend 3 years of trial and error figuring out yourself." So no, trial and error, like there's nothing wrong with it, really. It's just not the fucking best way. Like, why waste 3 years going through mistakes and potentially succeeding, but likely failing more than succeeding, which is not bad because that's what you learn. Why go through that when you can literally pay for a seat at the table for someone that's gone through the same shit, not even with themselves, but with other people who may, be similar to you in digestion, metabolism, training habits, and all that, lifestyle habits. Like, why go through all of that when you can literally, I call it pay for a time skip, invest in somebody that's done all that shit, has the knowledge from all the failures, so they could just apply the experience to you and you can get a positive outcome. It's like for me in business, like I was doing trial and error for like 2 years, 3 years by myself, and I was getting somewhere, but I wasn't getting anywhere half or a quarter as fast, an eighth as fast as like where I'd get now because I've got the mentors in my corner to help me. If I have a question, I ask them, and chances are they've likely dealt with that shit a billion times over. Not just with me, but with like their other clients too. So the answers are just there. You can just ask for it instead of having to do the trial and error and then use the failure of that trial and error to learn the mistake. Just speaking in terms of time conservation, you can't beat it, man. It's always going to be way better to invest in someone that's already doing the thing or that has done the thing, right? So I've done it myself, trial and error. Yeah, it's cool. Like you want to also know your body too, so for sure. But in the end, it's always better to invest in the help, right? And I practice what I preach. All right, which is why I have mentors and I've gone through coaches and I'm still looking for coaches, right? Even though I'm a coach myself. Sweetest Fit Fam says, how many working sets do you aim to achieve for each muscle group? So per week. Oh, bro, dude, I don't even count it per week. That's fuck. So working sets per muscle group. That's a very specific question. And I want to actually ask you, why do you want to know that? Like I just like personally, like why do you want to know that? Is it like do you think there's just like a certain amount of uh you know working sets that you think you need to do in order to be like making real progress? Like I want to know your perspective too. But I'm gonna answer your question. I just gotta literally do the math. So working sets per muscle group. Fuck, everything's a working set. I don't do warm-ups really. I'll have like a warm-up workout, but that's it. I don't have like warm-up sets. I don't believe in that. It's a waste of time for me. So fuck, if I'm gonna count, so that's 4, 8, uh That's fuck, but then those are triple sets. Dude, a lot. Just a lot of volume, bro. Like per each muscle group, it's at least more than 50, 20, 15 working sets each muscle. And that's like at least. I'm not counting everything. I don't want to do that right now. But yeah, so it's quite a bit. And my rep volume is very high too. Off season or not, I stay in the 20 rep ranges with fairly decently heavy weight. And I also play with the low rep ranges with ridiculously heavy weight. So, on season or off season, I don't really change that much. Um, so, Ruben says, "What's your PR for squats?" Again, I'm not a power lifter. I'm a bodybuilder. So I don't really test for PRs in bench, squat, dead, all that shit. But I do lift heavy. The most I ever got that I've just honestly, I wasn't even aiming for a PR. I was just squatting what the boys were squatting the one day. The top set after I think it was like the fifth set, we did one plate, two plate, three plate, four plate, 20 reps, 15 reps, and then for 4 plates, we did like 5 reps, and then I put on 5 plates and did 2 reps. I think that was. It was like a year or 2 ago. But again, I don't lift heavy to like lift heavy or anything like that. I really don't care. It's about the quality of the reps and how heavy I can lift with quality and targeting and isolating the muscle group, if that makes sense. So about 495 for like 2 reps at the fifth set was the most I ever just decided to squat. I'm sure I could do more than that. And if I started fresh, I could easily do more than that, but just not an interest of mine. But that's a cool question. Sweet as fit as I am says, as a natural athlete, how much time do you believe you should give yourself to grow in terms of what? Between shows. Okay. Just curious, LOL. And so yes, the heart says. So yeah. Okay. So between shows, I'll be honest with you, I compete once a year. I don't like literally since I started competing, I've only been competing once a year. So 2017, I did a show, and then I think 8 months later, I did the first nationals, and then 1 year after that, I did another nationals, and then so that's what August, and then there was another November. So August to November, almost a year. I did another show which qualified me for Classic Physique, which was 2020. And then 2021 was August. Was it August? End of July. End of July, August of last. No, 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 no. Last year, November. So November to November is a year. And then I competed last. So it was last November was a year after I competed the time prior to that. And then I got my pro card, and then I'm not going to be competing again. And then I'm likely not going to be competing again until fuck, likely October. So once a year, I space it out between 8 to 12 months, and that's just me. And yes, I'm a natural, but like regardless, everybody else, like there are some naturals that take even longer. They don't compete often at all. So like that's a thing, right? Um so yeah, once a year, dude, I just compete once a year. Like regardless, like I personally don't care because I know that I'm always making improvements anyway. But it's just like the amount of improvements that you want to make before you go on stage. That's like what's gonna determine whether or not the other person is going to compete. But I personally know that I'm always making improvements, and I intentionally train in the gym to do that so that, every single year, I know that I can compete yearly, and I know that I'm improving every single year. So, and what better way to see your improvement than actually getting fucking shredded and seeing what you've actually improved on without all the fat and water? So that's like my philosophy. But yeah, 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 man, I hope that answer helped you out. So, but that's just a little bit of what I'm doing. Geez, 5 plates, goddamn, bro. I mean, sure, but I'll be honest with you, in the gym, 5 plates is not heavy. And I'm not saying that for me. I'm saying like in on average, okay, like for every commercial gym you go to, there's at least like fucking like 3 to 5 guys that could do that, right? And that like religiously do that. Like that there are, there maybe powerlifters or just lift fucking heavy and whatever. Like heavy benches, heavy deads, heavy squats, not as uncommon as you think. Like what's really heavy in the realm of lifting is like anything north of like 6, 7 plates. That's like when you're like, okay, this guy's actually an animal and he needs to be in a cage. That's like heavy in like my perspective in my world, but 5 plates is just difficult. It's not heavy. It's just difficult for most people that go to the gym frequently. And of course, athletes, pro athletes at that too. Kwaku, what's good? Priyan, what's up? All right, people. That's it. That's all. I really do hope you appreciated today's live stream and podcast episode. It'll be out in a bit. Of course, we're going to be uploading that on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So you know what it is. You know it's good. Quick Fighter on TikTok. What's up? I appreciate you. So yeah, yo, have the best motherfucking Tuesday of your life, people. We are out. Boom.